Well, Shilpa was a special child for me, and she was born in 1984 while we were in Kuwait.
Mhm.
And she was a happy and very normal child born. And at the age of 15 months, she contracted some fever, which resulted ultimately to be known as diagnosed later on as a meningitis. That resulted some kind of convulsions to her brain, and which made some damages to the cell. Ultimately, after 60 days of hospitalization and a lot of treatment, whatever the doctors could go, she came back with a lot of things missing, like she cannot speak, she is not able to see things properly, focus. Her eyes were nothing, apparently okay. Her face, everything looks normal. And
Mhm.
obviously, she lost her neck control and motor function, you call it, in the brain, where you have involuntary movement. That
Mhm.
was a depressing moment, no doubt, but it takes time for anyone to take it. So, with the grace of God and a little belief in that, we felt, and at least I felt, that it is a challenge for me to bring up a child like this. And everyone really does parenting, and you raise your children is pretty normal. But taking care of somewhere child who needs the special needs, that was a challenge, and we could really face it properly. I've been like a math student, and I've always loved to do the complex problems first. So I treated this as a challenge, as a complex. So how do I solve it? So that required constant change in our lifestyle. Obviously, cut down the all social your meetings and concentrate, making sure Shilpa gets timely fed and timely bath, all her routines, and even physiotherapy twice a day. Initially, we were going twice a week to the hospital for the physiotherapy, but then ultimately it cut down. It was more difficult in the sense because in Kuwait we had no family. We just our own family with my other daughter who was 4 years old that time and my wife. So we had to, manage within that, and could arrange financially. We were strong, so we could arrange a maid to work at home to give her helping hand to Sushma and look after Shilpa also time to time.
Mhm.
So time passed. That's how it went. 13 months, and luckily we would manage that. Shilpa never had to contraction of any body limbs, so her hands and legs, everything was like a normal child. Only
Mhm.
thing is she's just required a special seats and special schools we were been going. uh, Less of learning there, but at least her awareness was very quiet, and her appearance made a big difference in the whole house. Everybody is centered around her. So
Mhm.
that was good experience. Unfortunately, we lost her at 13 plus years of age, Shilpa.
Mhm.
She suddenly had one night, slept and turned her face down to the pillow, and she could not turn back, although the maid was sleeping next to the same room. So she had suffocation, and that made her to collapse. So that was a big, sad moment, at least for me, to remember.
Yeah.
Actually, Shilpa brought a lot of good fortune to me, and I got such a big raise in my jobs. Changing job was so easy. I was just selected, picked up by a big French company, and they just doubled my salary, income level, and all this thing. So I don't know how it was happening, but it was all happening. They were very nice people. They supported me. I managed, of course, their work very well. I set up the whole company IT systems, but it was just because I know I can very clearly see that it's all happened because of Shilpa. And Shilpa is gone. I wouldn't say I've gone back, but I don't see any more things happening with my fortune, just like sitting down and I'm getting some loads of money or something like that. It
Yeah.
made me to go and meet a lot of very, very influential people because of Shilpa. I met so many nice people around. So it's really blessing and boons. That's what you call it, right? It's
That's
something like that.
yes,
And
that's
I feel everyone, I mean, everybody life, you get some or other issue, but people get really disheartened and depressed, and or they give up the child to some orphanage and leave it there. But that's not really nice thing. I could never think of that happening for, a child like this. I would love to even get an opportunity, I'll say, raise another child like that and bring some hopes.
yeah, that's a beautiful statement, right? Coming from right from your heart, like you're willing to even take care of another child. Very brave.
Yeah,
So
it is a service to God. You see, service to a child like that is a service to God.
yes, beautifully said. So, your message to society in general, how if they come across people with disability or similar situation who has faced meningitis, society, what attitude should society have? And you said family should, keep do the service of that child, not abandon. And for society and anybody who is going through, what's your message? Just-
Well, message is simple: never lose hopes and heart. And there are certain children, they get, for different reasons, get some disabilities time to time. It happens to the children quite often. Some get by birth. Sometimes some people have it because of some disease or problem. Uh, but it's a main important thing as a parent, I think, is not to sympathize, not to have a sympathy for a child like that. It's rather to concentrate and try to bring up the child as a normal child. Never ever sympathize. If you sympathize, that the child also feel it.
Mhm.
So it's more important you look at towards them with their special needs and attend to those special needs. That's it. A child with the special needs. That's all. It's a child like any other. And that's my message. And I would say, keep a hope and take it as a challenge, and work towards the challenge. You will definitely, people who do this kind of service, they get rewarded one way or the other. People don't know how the rewards come. So
Yeah,
they should not think about a problem only. It's a really a reward.